Going to talk a second today about one of the most iconic album cover photographs in history, Allman Brothers band At Fillmore East. Listen, I've written an entire book about this album, Play All Night, Duane Allman, and the Journey to Fillmore East. I've listened to this record probably more times than anything else in my life. So I've said a whole lot about the album itself. So right now I'm not going to talk about the album. I'm going to specifically focus on the photograph for several reasons. And one is just photographs captivate me and they're an interesting way to look at life. Jim Marshall, one of the most famous photographers in rock history, shot this image for the Allman Brothers Band's album that they had recorded in March of 1971 at Fillmore East. He ventured down to Macon in April of 1971 to shoot a series of photographs of the band and crew. I don't think the road cases are full. I do know, though, that the roadies were pissed off about having to move the road cases out and stack them. Marshall took a series of photographs, and they're out there, but this is the one that made the album cover and also is pretty famous. It's the one where they seem the most natural. And there's a reason for that. You'll see Duane Allman in the front there, down with his hands covered. And that's because Duane, in the middle of the photo shoot, apparently saw his dealer and made a very quick score for an 8 ball of cocaine, sat down, and Marshall caught this shot of his bandmates laughing as he returned. And interestingly enough, the flip side of this record, which I don't have here, album cover features the roadies themselves all lined up in a similar pose. And they look pretty surly. They look pretty angry. They're drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon, which even back then was not a high-class beer. Listen, this At Fillmore East is way more than the greatest live album in history. It's one of the greatest albums in history. It was recorded live. And that's what I wrote a 500-page dissertation on and a 250-page book, and spend my time talking about at Long Live the ABB, longlivetheabb.com, all over the socials and all over the internet. It's just something that fascinates my brain. So I've talked a lot about the album, but I really haven't said a whole lot about the photograph. It is iconic, and this was taken in Macon, Georgia. The building that they're in front of was across from Capricorn Studios, and that building is no more. Long live the ABB.